Alrighty, we are back here. Echo reduction has been implemented. So if you listen to the last episode, there was a little echo. Apologize there. We're not professional podcasters. We're figuring this out
Wait,
along the way here.
what are you talking about? We're not professionals? Come on.
Pretty much at this point.
Yeah.
Episode 36, rocking and rolling here. Did wild. But yeah, we've made sure that we've implemented some sound updates here. So hopefully this sounds a little bit better.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's sound drives me crazy when you're trying to listen to something and it's just weird quality, but it's all good though. Happy Friday to you. We are recording on a Friday, which is fantastic. So
That's the best. Nice little Friday recording session. Did you do any rucking this morning, or what was
so I
the
did get
routine?
I got my new pack in. I went with the Wild Gym. Came in on Thursday. And I was pleasantly surprised with everything it kind of came with. It's a big old box. It's so weird though because they have to ship the weight with it, and it's a 30-pound plate, and it's only like yay big, like a foot and a half tall, maybe by like a half a foot. So it's just like a 30-pound plate that's like flying all around. I mean, they packaged it up pretty good, but the box was a little messed up because of the packaging. And then the backpack was in it. But yeah, no, dude, way different. I did like an hour ruck today, about 400 feet elevation. And the comfort on it was fantastic. Just so much more padding. The plate up against your back is nice. It's got a cool little pocket right here for your phone and for water. So it's more like a running vest type thing. I mean, sure, still hurts the shoulders as you're building up those muscles, but definitely worth the investment. So it was great.
Nice. That's sick. Do you have you have like a
Yeah.
little route that you take, or you just kind of go out there and figure it out along the way?
So this time, because I just wanted to get in a good, quick hour workout with a good amount of vertical, 400 feet. It's not crazy, but it's not bad. So down the street from me is a hill that has a cul-de-sac that goes up and around that I can get that elevation in. So it's super close. But when I do longer rucks, it's more like down to the park, up and around. But this perfectly, I just did loops.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which I timed it out to was like 15 minutes a loop or so. And the pace per mile, I was looking at it this morning, was like 17 minutes a mile or something like that from a pace perspective. So I definitely try to book it when I'm like going up the hills, or even I walk backwards up the hill sometimes too,
That's
because
good
that's
stuff.
really good
The
for your knees,
hamstrings and knees. Yeah.
hands, and the knees. Man, you'll feel those other muscles. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the knees over toes guy. I've
Literally
done a
exactly what
lot
I
of
was thinking of there.
protocols for him. I've done a lot of protocols from him over the last couple of years where, like, dude, I've completely rehabilitated my left knee where I had to wear a brace before, super sensitive all the time, especially when I was running a lot more miles. But yeah, now I don't even wear a brace. It typically doesn't even bother me.
Dude, the one other thing that I wanted to ask about, thinking about like injuries and that stuff, and just general health. You ever hop in the sauna? You ever do sauna sessions?
I have in the past, but not often. I just don't have access to a sauna.
See, yeah, I feel like every gym nowadays, it's got to be mandatory to have a sauna in there. So I'm sure there's got to be like a gym near you that does have a sauna. I'm
Oh,
telling
I'm
you, it
sure.
makes such a difference in your like recovery and I don't know, just general soreness from like working out and everything. It's such a treat. And if you do a nice long sauna session and then get in a shower, it's a cold shower, it's nuts. Like you have such a focus and like mental clarity after that, and it's almost like a runner's high, but like on
Sure.
steroids. It's wild. I would
No,
highly recommend you check that out, or consider doing
you're
that on the weekly
you're
basis
pushing
there.
a lot of adrenaline through your body when you're doing between the two. So it makes sense as it's
Yeah.
breaking it down. So yeah, no, that's awesome. I have a weird thing with gyms, where I have not had a gym membership in forever because it's just one more excuse of like, I mean, I'm really disciplined now. But before it was like it was an excuse. So I have to go do this, I have to go drive there, etc. That's where like all my workouts are just at home, or that's
I was gonna say you
really
got the
why I got
at-home
into
gym. You
running.
got a good setup there anyway.
Yeah, it's not even that much of an at-home gym, but it was just one of those things where like I can wake up, get what I need to get done, and get it done quick, and I'm done. I have such
Yeah.
limited time in the morning sometimes. So, but yeah, I would love to have like a gym membership um, for that. So yeah, I could see the value in that for
Well,
sure.
look into ones with a sauna and then and go from there. It's such a treat.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a at home sauna one of these days. Maybe we'll get to that level, Trevor, where we can have at home cold plunges, at home saunas.
That's the goal.
You know, that's truly is one of my goals to be fantastic. And it's
It's a work in progress.
you're investing in yourself with
Yeah.
those items.
Well, cool. We really, like honestly didn't collaborate on a much of agenda here before this, but I wanted to maybe get your thoughts on like this FTC ruling, the federal their ruling for the click to cancel. Um,
Yeah,
let me just at least screen share and just show the
yeah.
ruling here, and
Explain it to the masses.
yeah, we'll get a little context going.
I
This
like it. I think it makes sense
same. Let me
because I think one of the companies that are kind of highlighted in there was it Choose Fitness or gyms in the past, like trying to
Planet
cancel
Fitness.
your Planet Fitness. Excuse me. Uh, so I'll let you explain it. Go ahead.
So it's pretty much like I feel like the title kind of explains it here. So essentially the FTC on the 16th, they announced that they're essentially like trying to make canceling a subscription as easy it is to sign up for a subscription. And they're calling this kind of like the final click to cancel rule here, which essentially will require sellers to make it as easy for consumers to cancel their enrollment as it was to sign up. And it says most of the final rule provisions will go into effect 180 days after it's published in the Federal Register. So we got some time before this actually like rolls out and gets implemented. But they essentially, to your point about Planet Fitness, I think they called them out a little bit further down um, in this article here. I thought they explicitly called them out here. Um,
It might have been the op-ed that called them out on that,
yeah,
but
but
yeah, I
essentially,
mean,
like Lena Kahn was basically like that was Planet Fitness was one that they got a ton of um, plates against and a couple other brands, and
HelloFresh, I
definitely
think, was the other one.
HelloFresh. Yep, that one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful that I could think of like Uber. There's like this Uber Plus where they kind of like slot it in when you're like getting a car that you can then get into like a subscription with
Uh-huh.
Uber. And I've also been in the situation with trying to cancel a gym membership and how difficult it is sometimes. Like, I know LA Fitness is real big on like, like you actually have to come in and physically do it. But then sometimes you can get somebody on the line, be like, dude, I like don't even live here anymore. So I feel like this is good overall. It's like such a like sketchy practice that businesses have in place to try and get people to continue to pay. And like, if it works, I get it where they're coming from, but I think overall this is a positive ruling. I want to get your thoughts, and then I feel like this could probably present some opportunities for the agency side and helping some of these businesses implement some of these solutions.
Yeah, so I think it's a positive for sure. If you sign up for something, you should be able to cancel it just as easily. It's logical, right? If you're making it difficult to cancel, then you probably have a crappy product. And so I totally agree. Completely logical to have this. Now, what kind of your second point, is there business to be made out of this? Um, and I also go back to the another point of enforcement of this rule. Um, you know, there'll definitely be the ambulance chaser lawyers online that go after businesses that don't have these items. Like they've gone after people for cookie policies and all this crazy stuff that's like predatory claims or whatever they are called. So I think that
ADA
that's going to
compliance
happen.
also happens a lot, like lawyers
Yeah.
will literally send, pretty aggressive letters to some businesses saying like you're about to get sued for like $20,000 if you don't actually
Yeah.
make your site compliant.
We had a scenario, and I'll keep it pretty broad. We had uh was it CIPA? what was the ruling on? There's a weird California law. Let me try to find this out. TPA, no, it was not Child Internet Protection Act. It was a different one. It was like a law basically back from like the 70s that was for like wiretapping. That people are using as predatory claims for website stuff because it's not clear on if that relates to the internet. And dude, it goes down like if you have cookies on your website or anything tracking, it can be under this law that was written in the 70s, I think it was, for wiretapping. And people are going after people. So it's out there. So not to digress too much, sure, there's going to be a lot of people that claim it out there, but I think a lot of the online companies, so I guess my gut reaction to your question of, is there money to be made by like agencies like us or development companies? Maybe some, but I think these are the bigger companies that already have a solution in place or development company in place, like the Netflix and the HBO Max of the world. They're not going to come reach out to us. And then if there are on like, let's say they're on a Shopify like loyalty program or something like that, that app itself is going to develop that click to cancel. So I don't actually think there's like an opportunity per se as someone with really good web development skills to, I don't know, leverage or ask people like, hey, do you need help with this? Because I think they're going to have internal teams already do that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally makes sense there. I'm sure there's some other brands like, smaller, like not enterprise level that are going to have to figure this out eventually here. So yeah, I'm kind of in your camp there. Like, I think there's probably some use cases or some scenarios where agencies can pick up business for it, but probably going to be, the larger enterprise, publicly traded type companies that already have development options in place there. So I kind of tend
Yeah.
to agree there.
Well, yeah, even if you have like, I don't know, most time now with any website, if you got a solution, it's an app or a plugin. So it's going to be
Yep.
up to those developers to do it. They're probably going to be liable for it to keep their base. So they're going to, quickly comply to do this type of scenario. So overall, I think it's a good idea. Do they say when it's supposed to roll out?
Said 180 days after it gets published in the Federal Register. So I don't know if it still needs to go through some type of ruling, but it sounds like this was final. And they were actually going to move forward with this as of the 16th of October. So probably like I would assume like summer of next year, this really gets rolled out.
Yeah. Not, I mean, it's for us just one more checkbox of when looking at clients' websites and what they're doing. I'm like, hey, do you have this? I mean, it doesn't really fall too much but in marketing, but it's going to be an expectation now that people have when signing up for anything.
Dude, I'll tell you what, it feels like Lena Kahn. I mean, I understand I'm a little bit younger and don't really like follow, the Federal Trade Commission that closely, but it seems like she's been in the news and extremely active in the FTC chair. I don't know. I feel like I've heard from prominent entrepreneurs some like good positive things about her, some kind of hate, but it seems like just in general quite active. Like also heavily involved in some like the Google lawsuits and everything, and seems to be. I think she was also a part of blocking the recent Microsoft acquisition of Activision due to potential monopoly concerns and a couple others. But dude, it seems like she's been on a run these past like 2-3 years here and quite active. So it's been interesting to see here.
I wonder why. That's where I straight go to. It's like, does she have a motive behind it? She's just doing good. She getting paid by somebody?
Maybe, dude, maybe it's all good intentions there.
Yeah, could be.
And also too, like the whole, Google antitrust lawsuit and everything. I saw today they announced, and I don't know if they announced this today, but I saw today that they were actually moving the Gemini product out of the search team and over to the DeepMind team. So interesting to kind of see that transition there. And I didn't even realize that was I mean, I guess it makes sense that Gemini was like a search product, but I always thought that it already was in the DeepMind team's camp there. But I saw that was an update that they kind of shifted over there.
Interesting. Hmm.
Do you hear anybody that uses Gemini?
No.
No.
I mean, maybe some people like doing some like as a secondary like keyword research type thing. Um, But then also the other like built in like Gemini stuff for like your Gmail or presentation building. They've been trying to sell me hard on that on a couple times. Like I get pop-ups kind of, or not pop-ups, but like slider bar ups, or like in my
Yeah.
Gmail, there's a button up top. It's like try Gemini. Ricardo tried it for 30 days on the enterprise level one, and it was like, wasn't impressed by it. I was actually thinking about it for some of the slide capabilities,
Yeah.
but it didn't. I don't know. From what I saw, like on their demos, maybe they have really crappy like demo or copy that talks about it. They were like it was going to satisfy the needs that I was looking for, so I didn't pull the trigger and try it. So yeah, I don't know really many people that
I
are
don't know anybody that
trying
uses
it.
it really. I'll use it from time to time there, but I mean, I'm sure they'll naturally, because of their product suite, integrate it. It'll get more use case, just because of that. Like your point there of like docs and Gmail and slides and everything. But yeah, I don't really ever hear a whole lot of people use it. It's kind of crazy. Like
Yeah,
I think it kind of speaks to almost like first movers in particular markets and just how powerful a brand can be because you're pretty much first in the space there. Like I think like, a lot of people default to Coinbase and crypto because I was like one of the first movers. It's like one of the OG brands. It seems like in the LLM space, it's kind of like the same deal with ChatGPT. And you could probably make a case for like Claude or Perplexity because they've been around for a bit and have some good brand reputation. But Google just being a little late to the game to roll out Gemini, I almost wonder if Gemini rolled out first, if that would have a whole different trajectory compared to ChatGPT. But it's just interesting to see like the power of a brand when you actually are first to market, what that can kind of do for you.
yeah. First market, it's interesting because that kind of segues into the LinkedIn post that I did this week about Shopify SEO,
Yep.
and how I put that together. So like the genesis of that was actually really interesting because it's been a concept that we're selling a little bit more into that side of space, like e-commerce SEO. We're actually really good at it. So we're like, hey, let's nurture that. We've got some lead gen stuff going on with that. But I was like, hey, I'll do a post about it because I got like literally like a Google slide or like a slide deck that if I got one slide, it was like, hey, here's my 6 pillars of e-commerce SEO for Shopify. And so I took that and I gave it to ChatGPT. I downloaded it as a PDF. I'm like, hey, make this into a LinkedIn post, because I've got a ChatGPT writer that's trying to mimic my personality to create LinkedIn posts. It's kind of an AI assistant there. So I've created that. So I put that in there, the PDF. It created it, and then I started giving it a couple different prompts to add a couple different things, some other observations I wanted to put in to kind of flesh out and to make a more robust post. So like, cool. I was like, I got a LinkedIn post, but hey, I always like, sometimes when I see posts and they have like an asset with it that people can slide through, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And that reminded me of a program that I used over a year ago called Gamma AI. Their website's gamma.app. I'll pull it up here in a second. But they were a first mover in the AI space of creating decks
Yeah.
based off of prompts. So what I did is I took my LinkedIn post, I gave it to Gamma, and within 30 seconds, it created the deck for me
So
that I can push out.
did you do a lot of editing with the slide deck that I produced, or was it pretty good off the start
No.
there?
So because of the prompt that I did, it was really good as far as creating it.
Yeah.
So let me do something interesting. Let me pull up my Chat GPT.
And I do remember you mentioned Gamma a while ago, and I forget if it was for carousel posts on LinkedIn or what, but I do
Yeah.
remember you mentioned that a while ago. So then once you posted it and shouted it or tagged Gamma, I'm like, this helped me produce this. It's like I do remember that now.
Yeah. So give me something to do a LinkedIn post. I'm going to just do a quick prompt. I'm not going to share that screen right now because it's my Chat GPT. I don't want to share that, but I'll get the output and then I'll share my screen for the Gamma. So just give me a topic of like any LinkedIn post. It could be anything, dude.
Top ways to optimize a performance max campaign.
So optimize a performance max.
I was just putting together I was just doing like a little audit, putting some recommendations together for Performance Max. So that was kind of top
All
of
right.
mind there.
So this is we'll have to verify if it's even right, the post that comes back out. the content, but it's writing it right now, and then let me get my screen share going.
So are you using ChatGPT like your like custom GPT in there?
Yeah, I'm using it's called my ASPI LinkedIn
I like that.
writer. Is
I like that.
That's a little bit of that kind of ASPI is smooth for autistic, etc. And people use it. Sometimes it can be offensive to some people, which okay, get it. But I I have resonance to people that are on the spectrum, and I get it. So it's kind of like the way I wrote it and put it in there and
For
coded it
sure.
to kind of meet my personality. Okay, so I've got the copy. Let me close this screen and then I'll share my screen for the Gamma. So let me do create new. Okay, so
Just free product placement right now for Gamma.
yeah, why not? Share screen, entire screen. Okay,
Gamma team, if you're listening and you want to sponsor the pod, that works with us.
why not? So there's a couple different ways that you can do it. You can do it with a prompt. You can do an import a file, or you can paste text. So I'm going to paste the text, and this is the text from. This is the post that was created with my GPT LinkedIn writer.
Nice. So that's what
So
you got to, dude. I like this simple interface here because it's just kind of like, all right, here's the prompt, and then what do you want to make? A presentation, a web page, or a document?
yeah,
Really cool.
Ricardo's been messing around with the web page stuff for like for maybe some quick building stuff,
Yep.
but we're not 100% sold on it yet. But anyways, so I got presentation. I hit continue. I mean, let me look at the prompt first. I mean, I don't know if this looks right to you, but what you want to do. But anyways, let's hit continue. So it's all in here. There are some other things that you can like modify, add in here, but I'm just gonna hit freeform and continue. It's gonna generate 8 cards based on what it's here. It's got credits. Cool. Maybe they gave me some free credits. And now we can pick a theme. What theme you like? You want to go dark and stormy? You want to go bright? You want to go? What do you like here, Trev?
Um, do that one right there. Scroll down a little bit.
This one.
The one more below it.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
Let's do this one.
All right. So we're gonna hit generate, and let's see what happens. This is real time. So it's writing it real time. And
I
so I've
remember when
noticed that
chat.
in a couple different templates that they flip through between that you'll kind of see. But
Yeah. So they kind of like pre-program some templates in here for their presentations, and then the content's obviously dynamic. That makes a ton of sense.
yeah, it's gotten better over since last year too. All right, so here's our presentation. Supercharge your performance max, came some spacing issues, whatever, but hey, they got the rocket in there based off the icon. That's kind of cool.
Picture's pretty
Right?
sick, I'll be honest.
Yeah, the image creation has gotten way better. Fueling, it's a picture of a gauge. Got a couple different points, and they'll add things in here too. They'll add on to what the prompt was. So the it's just not exactly what I put in there.
I'm really impressed thus far with just the image
Guiding
generation because I remember
navigations.
how terrible image generation AI used to be.
Yeah, these are clean. They're not really cartoonish either, which is great. Then there you have like a really simple slide here, and then you get into this. That's a weird image. Game the throne of coins. But for putting up a LinkedIn post real quick with a little bit more fodder, I mean, I'm sure you could do a lot more with Gamma. I only have done it for like LinkedIn stuff. I'm sure you could personalize the templates, etc., for your brand. So it's just really cool to see something you could put together real quick. Download it as what is it? It has to be a PDF, I think it is, that can then go through LinkedIn and
For the
boom.
document ads, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like if you got one of those like how to post a little bit for LinkedIn, just throw it into Gamma. You got a deck that will add to it that maybe
Yep.
people will share, etc. And go from there. So I was super impressed with how easy it is, just from a content creation standpoint. Integrating into the business, we haven't quite done that yet. To be honest, we're kind of playing around with the idea. Here, I'll stop sharing my screen. Of when we're presenting decks to client, right? Because like, let's say if it's a performance report or even a sales pitch, the default somehow got to be slides. Like, why? Why did that happen? I mean, I was joking around with Ricardo. I was like, well, back in the day, you would go into the pitch room and you would have like maybe a board to work with or a flip over sheet, with your presentation on there. So maybe that's the genesis of the slides. But it kind of slides led it to be like where it's like visually like 2D and you're only tunnel visioned into that one slide.
Yeah.
Which is not the way it is when you're in a room selling and you're talking with humans, right? There's a little bit of a 3D element to it all, and you're not like tunnel visioned onto one screen. So I'm playing around with the idea of, even if they are still slides, let's say, but using more of a like a Figma board or a whiteboard, virtual whiteboard. There was another program back in the day that did something like this. So I think it was Prezi, where it would move through objects as you're presenting. But with the Figma file, we can set up all the different slides or cards, and then we can literally like zoom in and zoom out of the presentation to where it's not just a slide deck where it's one directional, where it's like you have to go to this slide to the next. You can actually pull out the interface when you're doing it digitally, pull out, get a larger view, and then zoom back into another section. So it's a little bit way of like movement that I think we're going to try to do. There will be a little bit of learning curve with Figma for us personally. It's not super hard to do. It's not rocket science. But I just think the presentation is just different.
So almost like a Miro board type deal where you can kind of,
yeah,
there's a couple different things going, zoom in on certain sections and pop back out for the narrative. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say Miro board? Is
Miro.
that what it is? Miro. I've never, it's probably very simple. Yeah. Yeah. Same thing.
Same type of deal.
We're using Figma because we can add some styling and stuff in there, etc., totally. And our branding and stuff. But that's the concept that I think for at least presenting on sales might be a little bit different. We look a little bit different than like a typical deck that you're going through. I've never been a fan of those. They're always so two-dimensional and like narrow focus, where I feel like this movement and being able to pull in and pull out, or pull up a web browser, or even just drop a screenshot in there, it's like just super easy to make something more custom. And I don't know, just adds another layer instead of that flat 2D. Maybe it's a bit more of a 3D-esque or 4D feel.
That's neat. I mean, I would love to see like the actual presentation and how that turns out. Maybe we can kind of like preview that on one of these here. But I think the Gamma like little demo that you just put together, like that's, that was literally like 30 seconds, a minute, and you already have like a LinkedIn post where I know I put those together, and even Canva has some templates, but you still got to like work through those and have some editing and like implement everything. So something where it's like, hey, it's done, just quickly like edit some text and maybe like swap out an image or something like that. The barrier to entry to create content is just so much less with a tool like that.
Yeah, 100%. And just makes for a better post, hopefully. So
what have you been seeing on talking about like organic content as of late here? What have you been seeing as of late on the LinkedIn side? I feel like there was a period of time where carousel posts were huge. Like that was like the go-to of like multiple slides pulling through.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been a whole lot of change on the platform as of late here, or any like new types of content format. Obviously staying consistent with posting is obviously critical here, but like, I don't know if you're seeing any shifts within LinkedIn and LinkedIn outreach, or just like content in general there. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think I've seen a lot of like single screenshots about something, and then there's a topic for it. So like a single image asset. It's kind of like one of the most basics, but it'd be about like, I don't know, an SEO case study or a paid media case study or some sort of news that dropped.
Yeah.
So kind of like more of a simpler post, not as rich of like, yeah, I think you're right. As far as the guides, like I'm literally like just scrolling through my feed and I'm not seeing. Yeah, it's dominated basically by two elements: the single image post and then video.
I saw recently that and do you ever go on LinkedIn on your phone?
On my phone, it yells at me to get the app. Have you done that before or see that?
On your
Or
no.
it's like, so if you, so on my phone, I'll use the web browser like through Safari,
Oh,
not the
gotcha.
app. So let me get to this point and then we'll get to yours because it'll just segue in. Yeah, if you use the browser, it literally has a bar on the bottom that says, hey, the app is better. Please download the app. They try to force you to. They're very aggressive about it. They'll even send you a freaking email saying, hey, download our app instead of browsing on the web. I'm like,
I could
man,
totally see
I
that.
get it. You want the app. So, anyways, go ahead.
Well, so it sounds like you don't use the app.
I do not.
No. So mine's like uploading right now. I was going to show you, but they've LinkedIn on the app is rolling out like a shorts feature, like
Oh, no kidding.
a continuous like kind of scrolling feature there. So that was one of the reasons why I asked if you've kind of come across any of that content there, because I'm assuming that's going to be. I think that presents a huge opportunity though for people on LinkedIn. Because I'm again
Play
first
shorts?
mover. Yeah, I mean just shorts. We should even consider some of that on like some of these podcast clips on the platform, because in feed is great obviously, but shorts just lends itself to like more reach, more views, potentially more eyeballs on your content there. um but like we're talking about first movers in a brand similar to like social platforms, if you're like a first mover on a social platform, you could generate a huge following or a bunch of engagement right away. And I feel like a consistent theme of this podcast is using LinkedIn for your retargeting type strategy, or like your personal website. You start incorporating some shorts content on your LinkedIn there, that's an easy way to generate some more reach within your profile.
So, will it be a separate section?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Like within your like it good example of like YouTube. Like if you have your YouTube
I'm
app,
pulling it up.
you have
I'm
your
pulling
home
up the
screen
YouTube
and then
app.
there's the shorts section. Same deal on
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
short button. Okay, so
Yep.
there'll be a button that's like shorts.
Yep. Which
Interesting.
I think you can make a case for like, hey, I don't know if that's going to take off, because you kind of think shorts is going to be a little bit more like passively watching. And are you going to go to LinkedIn to get like some like entertainment and short content? I don't know, but I think you could probably also make a case for people are so addicted to their phones and social media and scrolling
It'll
and
be one more
content.
thing to check.
It's one more thing to check for people.
So I would be curious. Okay, I would be down to do that because I don't know. I've been a little bit hesitant to put clips of the podcast and our shorts on there because I don't know. They're not like profound clips. We don't sit here on this podcast like baiting a clip. They just naturally come up, and some of them are good, and some of them are kind of dog shit that I'll post on YouTube just because
Yeah,
I would just want to put the content out there from a consistency standpoint. But
yeah.
sometimes you get some bangers, and it's like, okay, those ones I could see feeding into, I don't know, feeding into the short algorithm for LinkedIn. Maybe it gives you new exposure to new people, or even if it's your same crowd, it just they know it's a short, because I don't know. Some of the shorts that I see on LinkedIn, I'm like, oh, here we go, another quippy kind of short that's coming through. It's like, what kind of groundbreaking thing are you going to say here? Like, it's kind of personally why I've been hesitant to put anything about the podcast on that on there. So there's a place for it, and people's expectation it's going to be this kind of quippy, shorts about business. Because if you can think about it, right, like shorts on YouTube, like it's dumb shit. Same
Oh,
thing
no
on
doubt.
Reels. It's all dumb stuff. Just next thing. So, okay, LinkedIn, you'd assume it's all business related, right? And so maybe their mindset will be a little bit different. We have the content, we give it a shot. And now it'd be interesting because you'll publish it under yours and publish under mine personally, and we just keep it under the personals. Because I still don't think I'm still not sold that we need to have like the collective
No,
LinkedIn profile page for
nobody
it all.
cares
It's
about
like,
that.
nah, it's just whatever. YouTube's a little bit different because it's the hub of where we're distributing all the content.
Yep.
Same thing on Spotify. But for LinkedIn, I think it's more about following the people like we've talked about before.
I almost feel like you can get like a little radical though on LinkedIn and post some like nonsense and like some funnier, more casual content to kind of stand out. Because to your point,
I
like,
mean, we've got plenty of
yeah,
stuff that pops up
true,
in our shorts.
true. But you know what I mean though? Like it's almost like hey, everybody's super professional on LinkedIn. there's some people that make posts where like, dude, you would never say that in the real world, the way in which you wrote that out. And catering to very professional, on brand type messaging. I feel like if you had some like fun with your shorts on LinkedIn, I don't know, maybe you could just completely stand out there and generate some reach because of it.
Yeah. And I think as long as people know they're under the short sections, they have that kind of expectation that it's going to be a little bit different. I'm okay with that. I think
Yeah.
that'll be fun. So, okay, we'll cut up some of these clips. We can even upload some of the old stuff in there too, right? Because
Oh,
we have the
totally.
files. Like, I don't know. One that comes to mind is the one of you running in the forest and falling.
Ah, dude, that would be a great one.
It's like, not business, but it's, hey.
A little lifestyle, a little funny.
Yeah. When are they going to launch that?
I think they have. I'm trying to download the it's not refreshing. But I know I've chatted with a couple people. Here we go. So if you're on your LinkedIn, can you see mine? Yeah. So I came across this before. Yeah. And so it's definitely rolled out. So if you're on here, you're on like you got like your little home tab, and then same deal.
Yeah.
It's just like
So how do you get on there?
that's my boy right there, Chris Walker.
Yeah.
Dude, he has such good content. But yeah, it's the same.
So how do we get there?
Um,
Can you only upload it from your phone, or do you have to? Where is this, YouTube or LinkedIn? Come on.
I don't know. Let's look into that because I would like to figure that piece out. And we have so many shorts already.
Oh,
Might as well just download
them.
some and just start throwing them at the algorithm, see what hits there.
Yeah, I wonder if it has to be exclusively on your phone.
Like, can you do like an upload on desktop?
YouTube,
Yeah.
I think YouTube, when it first started, it had to be on your phone. But then as long as you're uploading a clip that's under 3 minutes, that's in a vertical setting, it's a short. Actually, 3 days ago, YouTube moved to shorts that it can be 3 minutes long now.
Nice.
As long as they're uploaded in a vertical format, then they will be moved from your video section in there. So a clip like this in the pod, I don't have to keep it to 60 seconds anymore, which I think some of them need to have a little bit more. So I will be doing more long form YouTube shorts. Is there a limit on LinkedIn as the length? Did they say?
Say.
Or we probably got to do more research on that too. But come on, LinkedIn. You didn't let us know about this. Like, how do they not tell us? Like an email? Like, come on.
Yeah,
You aggressively told me to download their app.
It is
but
like
you won't
very
see an email about the shorts.
I think very kind of slick there. Yeah, I guess they call them YouTube short videos.
They call them LinkedIn short videos, you mean?
Or yeah, what did I say? YouTube?
You said you got the YouTube on the mind.
Yeah. I don't know. It says aim for 30 seconds to a minute in length.
Okay, so it's got to be under a minute. But where do you upload it? Is there an upload button on there somewhere? Like you click on shorts on your app? I don't see anything here on desktop. God damn it, I have to download their app now.
You got to download their app. So they did announce this 4 months ago, and I've just like recently came across this.
What?
So this might have been a thing for a minute now.
Even better. I mean, it just shows, I don't know.
Clearly it hasn't caught on.
So, yeah, I mean, where is this content? It's not on their main site, desktop, but it's on mobile? Like, oh, weird. LinkedIn's title for their app is LinkedIn Network and Job Finder. Really?
I feel like that was like the initial kind of reasoning behind it.
All right, I'm downloading it.
Yeah, I guess you could just upload a short just like right from your phone here.
But it has to be on your phone.
Yeah,
where does it live? Only in the short zone? Not on desktop?
I guess it's just in the short zone, yeah.
Is there comments and likes?
Let me see. Yeah.
Because I'm also curious, like, how do you track the performance as the person that published it?
Same deal. It literally looks exactly like TikTok. Like and I'll turn this off. There's the like option, comment option, and then share option. It's literally the same thing as TikTok.
It's not going to show up on your desktop as far as like. I don't know, when you look at your stats or whatever, your
That's wild.
post views.
I guess not.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because you don't see
Well,
anything on desktop for
hey,
the
so
actual
any of
short
those
videos.
shorts, look at the shorts right now, like a couple of them. What's like the view count on those?
The one I just came across at 40,000. So like, there's definitely some reach. Yeah, it's just on desk or it's just on mobile right now.
Huh.
I feel like there's something here though. We've seen some good success from like referral business and LinkedIn and of everything that we've chatted about, but I feel like there's probably something here on the short side. So I want to do some investigating and maybe start posting some shorts and see what happens here.
Yeah, no, I would be curious on where that goes.
All right, well maybe we can call it there and report back next week with any shorts findings. We definitely have a nice guest coming up here. Just trying to finalize a date for booking, but we got a good guest coming up here. And yeah, if you're all listening and have any guest recommendations and anybody in mind, definitely let us know. But yeah, we got a good guest coming up here, and then trying to scout a couple more throughout the year here.
Yeah, I've got a couple contacts that said they could be interested. So here's someone more than just me and you yapping.
Exactly. Thursdays, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, the pod goes live. It was a smooth rollout for the last one, so yeah, we're gonna get in that rhythm moving forward. So we'll
I'll
have
try to
shorts that'll
drop
lead up
some.
to that.
I'll try to drop shorts before that.
Yep.
We'll probably drop on Monday because we record on a Friday. So I'll try to pepper that up in there. So yeah, we'll see.
That sounds like a plan. Well, I'll report back on some shorts and maybe you try and do the same and see what we can figure out on that end and see if there's anything there.
Sounds good.
Cool. Well, this has been a good one. What is this? Episode 36 in the books here.
Yes, sir.
Go. Episode 36 in the books. Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. We'll be posting this and yeah, keep it moving.